Are you getting the basics right? When I start working with a client and also with my one-to-one mentoring, a lot of the time when solopreneurs come to me and they're talking about growing their business, we then go back and start looking at how the finance setup is in their business. And often there are things that they could have been doing and earlier that is going to make their life and their transition to growing the business easier. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Carmel Siri, host of Profit Over Turnover, and I help small business owners keep more of the money they make and grow through increased profit. So I'm going to go through 5 things that you could be doing in your business, or maybe you are doing in your business and you can use this as a checklist. And the idea is, while you're doing it maybe yourself at the right now, when you implement these into your business, you are going to be able to hand that over to somebody else as your business grows and your focus goes somewhere else. So the first one we're going to say is an email address. So when you're dealing with bigger companies, you will always notice if you're sending in invoices, they will have @accountspayable. Whatever company it is. Now, you don't have to pay for an email address. You can use your name, accountspayable@gmail or Outlook or whatever system you're using. It's a free email. What you want there is any suppliers that are sending you invoices, you want them sending them there. Any subscriptions that you're using, you want those sending those emails on a monthly basis to that email. So what happens then here is you will use that email, and then when it comes to bringing on a bookkeeper or a VA or whoever's going to do your accounts for you, you can give them access to that email address. You don't then have to give them access to your business one, which has all the emails from clients and customers and all the rest. So you're containing the information that you're letting somebody else see. And also, as we go into the AI, and I'm not an AI expert, so don't be quoting me on this, but there will be a way of retrieving invoices automatically and putting them through any system that you have. That's happening now. Even if you or I are not using it, it is happening. And having that separate email allows that to happen a little bit more seamlessly. So the second one is have a system. So I'm always being asked, what is the best accounting system? And the answer I will give you is it's the one that you use. I'm a Xero partner, so when clients come to me, I'm using Xero. However, there are lots of packages out there to suit your budget and to suit your requirements. If you're manually doing it on spreadsheets, I'm happy with that. However, that's harder for a bookkeeper to take this on, so I will just keep that in mind. But if you're using spreadsheets, you're happy with spreadsheets, I'm happy with that, as long as you're doing it regularly. And then the point number 3 is following on from that, is you need to do monthly bookkeeping. Now, I know a lot of people are doing it every 2 months because that's in line with their VAT. However, I really would say weekly, but I'll settle for monthly. You need those month reports. You need those sales. You need to see those expenses. You need to review things. I had a client on during the week, and I got them to do one of the exercises, and the things that they found. They were paying duplications, they're paying for things that they didn't think they were, and they're really small amounts, but they do add up after a while. But also it allows you to build that confidence in your business because you're building that relationship with the numbers, which will stand to you. So then the next thing you have is point 4. So the next part we have is step 4 would be review your processes. So again, what we're looking for here is, can someone come in and take over this job from you? If the answer is no, look at where those gaps are and put a process in place. So for example, if one part, I know some people have very tricky clients that need certain sales put in in certain way with different backup, and it can be quite complex. So if you are handing that over to someone, what would be the best way for them to follow that? Would you do a little video maybe the next time you're doing it, showing them the different steps? Would you write that up into a document? Would you do both? How are you going to hand that over? And this is a great way as well of cleansing our own mind. When we go to write things down, when we go to actually look at explaining it to somebody else, things sometimes become different, and we tidy things up ourselves thinking, oh, I'm duplicating this here and here. That doesn't make sense. So look at those, where those gaps are. How can somebody come in and take over the accounting side of it? And this is about the processing side. You're always in charge of the numbers. The fifth one is a bank reconciliation. So it follows on from all the other steps. Once you have your system in place, once you have all those steps done, you're then going to be able to do a bank reconciliation. And what that is, you go to your bank and you take your opening bank balance as at the 1st of July, say, for example. So you take that, what was your opening bank balance at that time? You then go to your own system and you look at your sales and you add up your sales total and you add that to your bank balance. You then go to your expense sheet and you add up all those expenses on there and you take that away. So you have your opening balance, plus your sales minus your expenses. And it's important that those two amounts are from your system, because we're validating your system. And then you have a total. Now that total is a closing balance, and that should equal the closing balance as of the 31st of July, as in this example, in your bank. If it is not, there are a couple of reasons why it's not, and you just need to investigate them. You may have two different sources or two different bank accounts that you're adding in your sales. So therefore you need to just clarify that, adding those figures in as well. Or maybe there is a mistake on your part. You've doubled up on something or you've left something out. Or there's a mistake on the bank. So as wonderful as banks are, and they very rarely make mistakes, but they do. So we're looking to check that. Now, when you have those balanced, you're fairly accurate that you have most. I mean, once your bank is reconciled, once you know everything that's coming in and going out of your bank account, you're 90% there on clarity through your numbers. So it is an important step, but there are those other steps before you're going to be able to do it. But it's a habit, and once you get into that habit, I am sure you'll rock it. So I would love to hear any of your comments or any thoughts on on this episode or any of the others in the profit over turnover. Thank you for listening to me. Please subscribe and share with your business bestie. Till next time, thank you for listening.